Hey, everybody. It's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Sunday evening time for some Sunday night live chat. Looks like we got a great group on and ready to go tonight once again. Leo's here. Buick Man's on. Glenn's here with us. Charles is here. The Randall with the Nut Farm. Pete's on. Glad you guys are all here and ready to go. Let's see. It looks like we are connecting on Facebook. Facebook was a little bit wonky setting up tonight, so hopefully Facebook is going to work. The timer's going. It doesn't show that anybody's on Facebook yet, but who knows? It is a holiday weekend, so obviously I don't know who's going to be on tonight. Austin's here with us, though. But Alex here with us on Facebook, so it is working in some way, shape, or form. Billy Bowman's here. The Facebook setup was wonky tonight. Usually it gives me the live button. I can go right in, but I couldn't tonight. I had to go into Meta to get to the live button. So hopefully the Facebook thing is working on your end normally, because it was a completely different setup for me. Once I got into Meta and found the button and everything, then it went smooth, but it was a different configuration. So Steven's here. Scott's on with us. Z-Bear made it. Jim's here. Tony's on. So anyhow, ready for another evening of fun and excitement. We've got some exciting things to talk about tonight. But before we get too deep into that, let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. As always, throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we are on. Alex's Facebook is working normally on your end. Great. Scott's with us on Facebook as well. Dad's here with us. Autocorrect. I try to catch as many comments as I can. However, if autocorrect changes your comment into something that I can't understand, please understand it. I don't have time to sit here and try to decipher it, so please double check your autocorrect before you hit send. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I assume it's still working over there. I don't really know since the setup was different. I cannot see those comments. If you want to hang out and watch on there, you're fine. If you want to comment, participate in the auctions, I cannot see the comments on the Nobody Show Facebook page. You'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Mike from Texas made it. Bill Wagaman is on, watching the end of the NASCAR race. Jeff from Canada is here. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls on here. You guys make sure they know they are not welcome. I ignore them because they're trying to get my attention. You guys do an amazing job of making sure they know that they are not wanted here. Super chats are great. And ads, we are definitely fighting ads now since YouTube started inserting ads into live feeds as well. So nothing we can do about it. I have to set it. I just set it at like a moderate level so that hopefully it's somewhat contained. And sometimes it gives me the opportunity to stop them. And I do try to catch that from time to time. Sometimes they just come right through and there's nothing we can do about it. So anyway, Scott says it was a heck of an Indy. I didn't watch any of it. I was working today. Bill's watching the end of the NASCAR race, and I didn't watch any of that. I've been working all day. So Kenny's here. Kenny's here. It looks like he's thirsty. Let's mix things up tonight. We'll start off with the Auburn badge. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get working into tonight's chat. We've got some things to discuss. No cats yet. Gray Kitty's right over there. Chunky Butt is over there. I think there's just two of them in here right now. So, right, Gray Kitty? Gray Kitty, you going to come over here and say hi? You going to come say hi? It's like you're bothering me. I'm sleeping. Okay. Let's go ahead and start working through some interesting things tonight. One little tidbit of news we'll start off with that I thought was kind of interesting about something that happened years and years ago. Saw it pop up on an automotive news feed that I'm on that I thought was very interesting. Back in 1987, something very interesting happened this week. Frank's here with us. Frank, I got a question for you. Perfect. I was hoping you were going to be on. I got your check, and I think it said medium shirt. Is that correct, Frank? That you wanted a medium T-shirt? I just wanted to double check that before I shipped anything. So just if you want to confirm that for me, Frank, I can get that. Okay, perfect. Wanted to double check. I thought that's what it said, but I thought, well, what the heck? Let's. I want to double check and make sure. So, medium T-shirt. Okay, I've got. That might be the last medium. I may have one or two mediums left. I think I've got one 2X, one 3X, and then the large and extra large. I ordered those ones we reordered last year. We're getting thin on them, but I've got 8 or 10 of those left if you want large or extra large. But we're just about out of these shirts if you want to get one. Tractor Mike is with us. Kind of listening. The buzzer going off telling him one row won't plant because he put new parts on. So So Tractor Mike is kind of with us on Facebook. He's also trying to plant right now. So Weston's on with us. Glad you're here tonight, Weston. Buick man thought the plane video was cool. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. It really hasn't had that many views. I was kind of surprised. I thought it would have done better than that, but maybe people have just been busy with the weekend. So Nick's here with us. Numero Uno's on. Eric Freshcorn's on. Randy's here. Paul's with us on Facebook. Hold on just a second, Paul. Andy was a late start. Alan's here with us. Weather-wise around here, we almost got some stuff last night, but it skirted us. So far the weather's been great. Haven't had anything too bad this week. Last weekend was a little different story, but not too bad. But yeah, the airplane video, I finally got the video up on the Twin Beach, the move and walk through the plane. But really it didn't get very many views. I was kind of surprised. Andy's here with us. So if you haven't seen the plane video, please be sure to go check that one out. I was excited about it. The toy on the bookshelf, we're talking about the funny car. Is that the one we're talking about, Paul? Tony liked the 53 Dodge truck video. Rusty Okie made it tonight. This one is a old 80s plastic Blue Max funny car, which has been up there a while and covered in dust. If that's the one okay, that's the one Paul wanted to see. Thanks, Paul. Glad you liked it. Perfect Rusty Okie. I'll check that when we get done here. So Mike caught all the videos. Great. Yeah, the plane. That's right. So if you missed that, check it out. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get it moved. There's Bill Disc. And get it up front. So move the box. You get a better view of Heather. We'll have to, I need to get that toy. We need to reshuffle some things around here anyway. Maybe I'll regroup some things in here for next week. Change some of this stuff up. However, I do know one thing that's going to change after next week. We're going to give that sign away next week. You bet, Glenn. Glad you got it there finally. So next week, we're giving that away. If you're not in the raffle, please be sure you get in the raffle. We'll talk about that some more here in a little bit. But we know that's going to change before or at the after next week. But anyway, back to where we were at. Back in 1987, there was something very interesting that happened in the car world that we don't think about much anymore, but it definitely changed things. May 20th of 1987, AMC agrees to the Chrysler acquisition. Now, that it's kind of crazy to think that was 37 years ago at this point. Obviously, Chrysler bought AMC for pretty much one reason, Jeep. We all know that. Obviously, Jeep's still an iconic brand, still sells a ton of vehicles. Along with that came Eagle, the AMC car brand, which didn't last long, which we've talked about on here quite a while, or quite a bit with the probably the last artist rendering of what would have been an AMC Eagle that was never produced. That would have been the second generation LH platform Eagle Vision. The Eagle Vision was killed after the first LH platform. This would have been the watercolor drawing, that one right there, of the Eagle Vision that was hand drawn, hand painted by a Chrysler artist, but was never produced. So, let's see. Lots of comments popping up. Sounds good, Leo. All right, JP32 is here. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit of information. Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Tell me about it. It's at this point 37 years ago. A lot of people don't even remember it. I do kind of vaguely remember that, but kind of an interesting time when AMC was swallowed up into Chrysler. There was a lot of history of that last independent automaker that went with it. So when I saw that pop up, I thought that was kind of interesting news that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to try to pay a little more attention to that when I see something cool like that. Work it into our chat. So should have brought back the AMX. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that would agree with that. Jeep keeping Stellantis alive. Rams down. Hornets are in the tank. Yeah, the Hornet has never impressed me. Mark from Maine's with us on Facebook. Obviously, I run Dodge trucks, so I do still like Dodge trucks, but the Hornet, I just can't get behind that deal. But yeah, Jeep is definitely a solid profit center for Stellantis. There's no doubt about that. So obviously, 37 years later, it could still be chalked up to a wise investment. So, yes, Alec, it was Jeep Eagle. That's like I said, that's what we're talking about. When that happened, hey, there's nothing wrong with Pacers there, Tractor Mike. But they were making the Eagle Premier, which the Eagle Premier was produced up until the early 90s as part of the contract. Then the Eagle car was the Eagle Vision that was based on the first LH platform car that came out in like 93. So Z-Bear didn't really care, but he's only 4 at the time. Yeah, that's true. So there again, it's kind of crazy to think about that happened 37 years ago, that AMC was gone. It was swallowed up into Chrysler. So, but yeah, Eagle was their car brand at that point. So Mark's got a 79 AMX and some Grammys. The 79 AMX was a pretty unique car, that's for sure. So anyway, just a little interesting tidbit of automotive history. Thought we'd slide in there. I've got 139 pickup, Chris, depending on what you need. If you want to get a list and give me a shout, I can see if I've got some of it left. I do not have a lot of specific 39 stuff left, but I do have some stuff. But anyway, what else has been happening? Obviously, it is Memorial Weekend. So, guys, I know everybody's is off tomorrow. And so let's enjoy the weekend. But also, we got to remember why it is Memorial Weekend. The freedom isn't free, and that we can do what we want to do, and we can hang out on here, and we can talk about cars, and we can hang out all night because of what the people that sacrificed to let us do this. So please, just because it's a holiday weekend, don't forget why it's a holiday weekend. It's very important. So, so definitely please want to remember that tomorrow isn't all about hot dogs and the lake and fishing and things like that. We want to remember why the reason for this weekend actually exists. So definitely wanted to mention that as well. A couple other things I wanted to throw out there. I know we've talked a little bit about possibly trying to get a trip to Pioneer Village. I do need to send Will an email. Is that something that maybe later this year you guys would be interested in if they get their hotel opened? That try to see if we wanted to do a Pioneer Village weekend. That's something that I would like to kind of roughly. Austin's already ready to go back. So please kind of keep that in mind, guys. I don't have any idea what when the hotel will be open, but Pete's in, Austin in. So there's Neil. So there is some interest in maybe trying to do that if that works. So we'll kind of keep that. I'll stay in touch with Will, see how things are coming on the hotel, and if something like that would work later this year. This isn't anything in the next month or two. This is going to be a long time away. So, is the hotel going to have a bar in it? I don't think it does, but I'm sure we can find one, Mike. Tractor Mike's obviously got his priorities straight here. So keep that in mind. Huge thanks to you guys that are already contributing to the Pioneer Village Fund for next year to adopt the vehicles and maybe more. But I think it would be fun if we could all meet up there some weekend. So, yeah, it's a good point, number one. Of all the sacrifices and efforts that a lot of people, gave, including their lives, so that some kids today can identify as a unicorn while crying about having to work. There's a lot of truth to that statement, number one, an awful, awful lot of truth to that statement. A lot of these kids today don't understand what it took to get here. So it's shorter for Austin to go to Minden than a Great Bend. So we'll just kind of, I just wanted to bring that up and mention it, kind of keep that in the back of your head. So Addie just reminded me, don't get myself canceled for talking about that. So it could be true. So anyway, just wanted to mention that, keep that in the loop so we don't forget about it because we haven't talked about it in a little while. But the other thing that is coming up, that I know is coming up here in about a week and a half, obviously Mecum, Tulsa. We talked about this some last week. It sounds like there's going to be a few of us going to be there. Dad and I are going, maybe a couple of other guys from here. And it sounds like at least a few of you are going to make it. So if it's going to work out, Pete said you can email him. So I'm going to give you Pete's email address again. I don't have to get this thing laminated because we keep using it. So it's something, if we want to try to, if you want to try to do Mecum, Tulsa, send Pete an email so we can kind of organize something, what days people are going to be there. Now, what's going on at Mecum, Tulsa? A couple of things, actually. I do have work to do with Auburn Court Duesenberg. I've talked to Doug. Jim Wicks has an absolutely amazing Mustang that he found recently. We're going to do some content on. Don't know if we're going to do that at the auction or where we're going to do that at yet, but just a knock your socks off Mustang that he found recently that is just unbelievable. And I also talked to Angelo, our good friend with Old Cars Weekly. Now, I know some of you guys do have subscriptions. Alan's here with us. And I checked with him if he needed me to do Mecum, Tulsa. Because I've done every Mecum, Tulsa. I've written every one of them up for Old Cars Weekly. So bring free cats to pass out. There's Alex. So, I've got to do the article for Old Cars Weekly. I talked to Angelo a little bit about it, and Angelo and I threw some ideas around and came up with another idea. If some of you guys are going to be there at Mecum, Tulsa, and like I said, if you want to try to make it, I know there's only a couple guys that are talking about it as of right now. But if you want to go, let Pete know. I'm going to have the viewers that are there are going to help pick the cars for the Old Cars Weekly article. If you guys are interested. So we're going to check some of that stuff out. I'm going to make some notes. That's what's going to get submitted to Old Cars Weekly for the article. So if you're going to be at Mecum, Tulsa, you're going to have the opportunity to help possibly choose some of the vehicles that I'm going to write up for the article for Old Cars Weekly. So if you guys have not gotten your subscription for Old Cars Weekly, please do so. It's great. They do a great job. Brian's here with us. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. This is the article that I did from Kansas City in December, where I went around, we looked at some vehicles, made some notes, and then I wrote up little bits and pieces about those particular vehicles. A Jeep Ford and a Willys we can adopt next year. I don't remember. It seems like there's a Jeep in there of some sort, but I'm not sure exactly what. So this is kind of what we're talking about as far as Mecum, Tulsa. If you're there, you get to help pick a few of these vehicles that I'm going to write up for the Old Cars Weekly article. So something a little bit different. I think it'll be fun if you guys are there and are interested in helping out with that project. And obviously, we're going to have some new videos. We will do some video content from Tulsa at the auction besides what we're doing with Auburn Cord Duesenberg and with Wix's stuff. So how do you get the subscription? Their website is www.oldcarsweekly.com. I don't know if you guys will be able to make that out right here or not, but you can subscribe on there for sure. And get your subscription to Old Cars. One of the most diverse publications out there as far as what they actually cover. They cover, a wide variety of vehicles, and like I said, a huge, much more than what you consider in most magazines. It's our Google Old Cars Weekly. That's a good idea, Alex. Yeah, it's definitely. I think one of the most diverse publications out there with a lot of different stuff in it. So there's a big job. So we're going to be working on that at Mecum, Tulsa as well. And if you're there and you would like to help, you're going to get to pick a car out too for the article. So moving on. Yeah, I knew Pete had a subscription, and Pete agrees with that it is nice and diverse with a lot of cool stuff in it. What I love about it is you don't have to try to guess what color the 69 Camaro is going to be in the next issue. Because I've only seen a couple of first-generation Camaros in that magazine in the last several years. So, and some magazines, that's kind of what it, just about what it turns into, is what color is the 69 Camaro going to be in next month's issue. Have not seen Balin Wire tonight, Z-Bear. Maybe he'll jump on here after a bit. But anyway, moving on to some new inventory. Had 3 of them hit the ground this week. Show this week's cover. If that isn't diversity, I don't know what is. I don't have that one right here. It's not. It's out in the shop. So, Alex agrees with it. Yep. Yeah, I'd have to run and grab that one. So I don't have that one right here. I just happened to find this one the other night, and it had the article from Kansas City in it. But anyway, new inventory. 3 of them hit the ground, other than some newer stuff. I actually had about half dozen of them come in. Some of it was newer. So Camaro LM1, have not seen that one, numero uno. But did pick up some 70s era stuff this week, which I'm always excited about. 1976 Eldorado Coupe. Rough, but a complete car. 1977 Cutlass. Hold up, we got ads. Okay, I think I got those taken care of. 77 Cutlass was sitting right next to the Eldorado. Another guy who does iron was doing a cleanup job, and he called me and said, hey, or shipped me pictures, and I think these are probably worth enough pieces on these to be worth saving versus crushing them. So I went and picked those up. The Eldorado, like I said, they're both rough. They've been sitting a long time, but it is pretty much all there. It's even still got some of the hubcaps with it. Of course, the bumper fillers have fallen out, but it is there. And the 77 Cutlass, once again, it's pretty rough, been sitting out in this pasture for a long time. However, it does have all 4 factory rally wheels as well as buckets, console, floor shift, and tilt column. So definitely some good pieces on that worth saving. 55 Lincoln windshield, I still have zero clue on that, Z-Bear. So I got those picked up. And then I had one more come in yesterday. Thanks to Glenn. Glenn is on with us right now. And I'm gonna throw this out there, and I'm not even gonna use this term loosely. Yeah, I'm sure it's Olds 350. I'm not even gonna use this term loosely. I'm gonna use this term to its full effect, its complete meaning. Magnificent. Magnificent is what I'm gonna describe this one I got from Glenn. Glenn does run an iron yard, if you guys didn't know. And when something cool shows up, he sends me a picture, and he will save some of this stuff for me. So let's, everybody give a shout out to Glenn for hooking me up on this deal. Magnificent. I'm not even using magnificent loosely. I'm using it in the literal sense of magnificent. A magnificent 1978 Dodge van. Oh, and she's a beaut. She's a beaut. I'm going to give you a snippet. I'm going to give you a snippet of it. Because I'm going to make you wait for the whole video. So I'm going to give you a snippet. Because this thing is so amazing. I can't show you the whole thing because it's going to take up. I don't want to take away the effect. But I'm going to show you a little bit and piece of it. Are you guys ready? I want you to brace yourselves for the awesomeness of this one snippet. And wait, you can't wait to see the video. Here's one snippet off of the van. Look at that. Tractor Mike wants it. This is one little spot off the van. Just to give you a clue as to the awesomeness that is coming on this magnificent van. Yeah, this thing's pretty amazing. So, I'm excited about it, obviously. Huge shout out to Glenn for helping us out. Looks like you guys are getting excited. You guys are almost getting as excited about it as I was. So huge shout out to Glenn for hooking us up with that one and not smashing it, saving it. I think it was an automatic, Alec. It is a V8, but I think it's an automatic. It is magical. It is extremely magical. There's no doubt. I can smell the shag. Yeah, it is very magical. It's got some little nymphs on it. And it's got, I don't know, it's just going to have to, you can't even describe it until we share it with you. It's that amazing. It's right, Tractor Mike. If it could talk, we actually might not want to know the stories. That's something to think about too. We may not want to know all of the stories. But it is amazing and magnificent. Randy from California is on. Parking on the plane. Now the wing wouldn't hold it. That's right. It probably did, Big Job. That's true. It's not off. And that's right. And that's a good... Okay, like Tractor Mike said, if it could talk over the stories, I said we might not want to know the stories. Tractor Mike says, speak for yourself. Tractor Mike wants all the stories, so. And that's right, like Glenn said, it's not often he calls as soon as they hit the lot. He called as soon as this one hit the lot. So I think they were still weighing it when he called me on this one. So it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty excited about it, if you can't tell. I know you guys are going to dig it. I'll try to get it worked into the video circle as soon as possible. Thanks, Mike. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that. Because man, this thing's awesome. It's a little. Oh, it hadn't even hit the scale yet when Glenn called me. So everybody, big hand for Glenn. And when you guys see this thing, you're going to fully understand why we're going to give a big hand out to Glenn for this one. So anyway, it'll be coming up soon, hopefully. So that's what hit the ground for new inventory. And the rust belt, none of them are left. Yeah, and this one does have some rust in it. but it's still magical. So DNA collection agency, yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, on to the promo model, some badges and caps, and some story time. Short auction tonight because we've got a big auction coming up next weekend. 8 autobiographies from actresses from the 40s. That sounds very interesting. There are some very interesting autobiographies on some of those actresses from the 40s, as we've talked about before. Hedy Lamarr, one of my favorite. I've never seen one of her movies, but just the technology that Hedy Lamarr developed and her story is absolutely amazing. That sounds like a great score, Eric. Alex's Dodge had a ladder on the back door. This one does not have a ladder on the back door because we can't mess up the wizard. So I got to get this video done. You guys are going to dig this thing. It is way styling. Man, back in 1978, this was about as good as it got. So anyway, promo model, badges and caps, story time, raffle, auction this week. You guys wanted to do a longer auction, so we were planning on doing that next week. I got a ton of cool stuff in here, but if you guys, we'll probably shorten it up a little bit tonight, 8, 10, 12 pieces maybe, and then run a little longer next week on auctions the night of the raffle. If that's still okay, that's what we talked about last week. So that's kind of what we've got coming up. And as long as nobody has any objections to working through that. So we'll see how the auctions go tonight. And more than likely, you guys probably don't want to do a full auction anyway, but we're planning on shortening it up a bit. Boo for shortening. I got plenty of stuff in here, guys. I got like 3 weeks worth of stuff in here, even if we go long next week. That's right. This was definitely a don't come knocking when the van's a rocking van. There's no doubt about that. She's a beauty, though. Magnificent. Just going to say that one more time. Magnificent. Thanks to Glenn. Big shout out to Glenn for this magnificent van. Anyway, on to the promo model. Live stream from the van. There's not much left inside the van, unfortunately. So, promo model tonight. Just picked this one up last weekend, actually, on our trip to the West Bottoms in Kansas City. Another piece I got from Stuffology. If you guys saw the short on Stuffology, like I said, I never get out of there without spending money. We've got a really cool piece that is going to be popping up on a Toy Tuesday in the very near future from Stuffology. But I also got a promo model there, so we're going to work that promo into tonight's episode. And we're going to catch this super cool piece on... Oh, that's right. And I even forgot. Glenn even brought it up. It does have turbine wheels on it, by the way. I was going to mention that, Glenn, and I forgot. Thanks for throwing it. Yes, it does have a full set of turbine wheels on it. That's how big styling this van was in 1978. So, anyhow, tonight's promo model, like I said, just got it last weekend at Stuffology in Kansas City and the West Bottoms. Good looking piece. The windows are a little bit rough on it. I did not have this one, so I was kind of excited to find it. And it is in a beautiful color combination. On the 1958, that's why it's magnificent. That's right, Alan. Money wheels, yeah. The 1958 Oldsmobile 98 in red with a white top. 4-door hardtop 98, red, white top. The body's pretty decent, but all the windows on this promo got scratched up. I don't know if somebody intentionally scratched them or what, but they are all scratched up. Now, the promo itself isn't bad. The bumper tips aren't broken off. It's got a little bit of warpage to it, but that's common for this era of promo. The big taillight pods still intact, not broken off. Amy's digging it. Yeah, this is a good-looking one. I wish the windows were a little bit better, but I wasn't going to pass it up. Vent windows are broken. The post on both sides of the vent window is broken, and the windows are damaged. But the rest of this thing looks pretty decent. Now, if you'll notice, Buick I saw a real one at a car show tonight. The Z-Bear had a 58 blue and white. Glenn's step uncle had a purple one. One interesting thing about this promo, now the 98, the 88 didn't have these, but the 98 had this spear all the way down the side. Now on this promo model, the way they incorporated this is they made it part of the headlight. Where this wraps around, that's all part of the headlight piece. That piece of trim is. And then wraps down the side of the car. And actually, I don't know if you guys can make it out or not, it actually does say 98 right there on it. It does have the original factory flipper style hubcaps like it should have for a 58. All the original tires and wheels are still here on this one. It is a Johan. Use of trademarks and car designs authorized by General Motors Corporation. All that is on the bottom. Nothing on the bottom as far as detail. This was strictly a look-alike toy from Johan for 1958. So I was kind of excited about that one. I've got a 58 Buick, I've got a 58 Cadillac, and now I've got a 58 Olds. I do not have a 58 Chevy, and I also do have a 58 Pontiac. So I was kind of excited about this, even though condition was just mediocre with the damage to the windows. That's still better than having something that's chipped up or missing a whole taillight pod or something like that. So, yeah, it was a step up from the 88. I don't know where the 88 and the 98 actually came from. So that's true, and that's correct, Glenn. All of this back here, if you guys can make it out, would have been stainless strips. All these ribs were stainless strips on the 58, flowing right back to that taillight pod. These are a tighter turbine than the Westerns that the General Lee used. So these are a little bit different. So obviously I was pretty excited to get a hold of this one and happy to add it to our promo collection. The top is painted and everything else was cast in red. Oh, and this one does not, I know it's kind of hard to tell with the funkied up windows where the windows are all funky and scratched up, but this does not have an interior in it. Tony loves the 58 Olds. Tony has a 58 Fiesta. Those are great cars. Love Fiestas. I don't love Fiestas as much as I love my Caballeros, but they're essentially the same thing. But yeah, 58 Fiesta is a great looking car. Still probably lean more towards the Caballeros myself, but still a fan of the Fiestas, both 57 and 58s. Let's see. How many promos do I have? No idea. I don't know how many's in that case over there. I don't know. All of them? No, I don't have all of them. Easily 100 to 150. Maybe close to 200, but I'm sure I've got well over 100. I've been gathering them. I've been collecting them since I was a kid. I mean, I loved finding promos when I was a kid. It was huge when I was a kid. And bills they are tough to find. It's and with the internet today, you can pretty much get on there, and if you wanted a 58 Olds promo, you can probably find one. For me, I love finding these things in the wild. Addie and I love it when we find them. You know, it's not near as much fun to go on and click a button and try to find something unless you're looking for it specifically. But I've always looked for promos, swap meets, auctions, antique shops. Since I was 10 years old, I've looked for promos. So I'm always excited. There you go, Buick man, when I stumble across another promo. So, you know, I had not thought of that, Glenn, but that's a very good possibility. They were at the drive-in. The windows are still fogged up. Had not thought of that. Glad you clarified that for us. Oh, almost broke it, but I caught it. 94 Neon Coupe promo on eBay. I do not have that, and I would not mind having that. Now I need to go look for one, number one. But that's what we got for tonight's promo. The 1958 Oldsmobile 98 four-door hardtop, red with a white top. Recent addition to the collection as of last weekend. Thanks to our friends at Stuffology in the West Bottoms in Kansas City. I did not see that. Nut Farm did not see that 57 Pontiac. Badges and caps. Couple of cool pieces to check out in the badges and caps section tonight. Sweet, the Celebrity Pro-Am race cars. That is pretty cool. Buick Man had a neon. Remember those? I don't even think we ever even drove them. We typically, if I flew into a zone office that didn't have, that just had basic extra cars, they were typically like a Stratus or a Sebring sedan. We really never had neons for company cars. So I did drive a lot of like Stratuses and Sebrings if they didn't have any LH cars that were extras at the zone office, but never really had neons for company cars. Okay. Tonight's cap's kind of an interesting piece. A company that wasn't around very long. So we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to check this piece out. The Grant Motor Company. The Grant Motor Company actually existed in 3 different configurations, believe it or not. Yeah, I was thinking about that, number one. I was like, I can't go bid on that one, so I'll let you have it, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for one. Justin, Fireball's Garage is on. The Grant Motor Company was established in Detroit in 1913. Then it was in Findlay, Ohio from 13 to 16, and then it evolved into the Grant Motor Car Corporation from 1916 to 1923. So from one of our favorite websites, AmericanAutoEmblems.com, here's a little bit of history. If I can quit burping up brats. George Grant and his brother Charles established the Grant Motor Company in Detroit in 1913. Both George and Charles and their company officers had wide experience in the auto industry. The first Grant appeared in 1913. It was a high-quality, neat little 2-seater with a 12-horse, 4-cylinder engine. Was advertised as a thoroughly good, low-priced car. The Grant looked like a cycle car, but was in fact a small motor car. After a low production run in Detroit, the company moved to Findlay, Ohio, where 2,000 cars were produced in 1914. But the growing lack of public interest in cycle cars extended to the Grant motor car. So the line was expanded in 1915 to include a larger 20-horsepower 6-cylinder car. The smaller 4-cylinder car was dropped in 1916, but Grant maintained its high quality with low prices. They were pretty good brats, yeah. The company reorganizes the Grant Motor Car Corporation in 1916, then set up a larger factory in Cleveland, and by 1917, production had risen to 12,000 units. That year, Grant acquired the makers of the Denmo truck and began to make Denmo Grant trucks. Grant also made ordnance trailers for the military during the First World War. From 1918, trucks were built under the Grant name. All Grant trucks used 4-cylinder Continental engines and were offered in 3/4-ton, 1.5, and 2-ton sizes. The 1.5-ton capacity model was the Model 17 speed truck, which was introduced in 1920. They've got an 18 Grant at the Model G at the museum where Justin works at. The company was in good shape after the war and received a large number of orders for the new Model H introduced in late 1919. In anticipation of high demand for their cars, Grant placed large orders for car parts, but Grant was hit by the post-war depression and sales did not meet expectations. Production dropped to just 5,400 cars by 1920, but the new parts continued to arrive because of all the orders they had placed. By October 1922, Grant had no cash left and went into receivership. Car production ceased immediately, but a few trucks continued to be built until June of 1923. So a little bit of history on the Grant Motor Car Company. And what we've got from the Grant today is a grease cap from a Grant. Not sure exactly what year this is off of, but it is a large grease cap, which almost makes me wonder if it was off of one of the trucks. Now, this smaller side area here is the hex part where it says Grant. It has the legs coming off of the A on both sides to underline the rest of it. Now, size-wise, this is why I'm wondering if this Nut Farm's losing it. It is. It's a bigger one. That's why I'm wondering if this is truck. So when we get the tape measure out and go across this thing, across the back, it's almost 4 1/4. So this is definitely a larger cap. Alex agrees that he thinks it's from a truck as well. It is an aluminum cap. Across the hex part, it's about 2.5, so a little bit bigger than normal, but not gigantically huge compared to the other caps. Justin says it's the same cap they have with the Grant on the 18, and they are that large. So it is definitely a bigger one. The nice thing about this one, obviously, it does have some whammies and damage like all of these. But our money shot, the Grant, the company logo still looks great. We can see on the back how it was stamped in there into the whole cap. So it's kind of funny. We got a whammo here and a whammo here, and we managed to miss the Grant. So kind of an interesting piece. Definitely something a little bit different that we don't hear much about, that I don't really know much about. But that's why we're here. We all learn a little bit here and there. So that's the first piece that we've got for tonight, the Grant grease cap. The next piece is a great looking badge. I'm definitely a fan of this. I got this in my new big boxes of caps and horn caps, horn buttons, emblems, badges that I got here a few weeks ago at the Lawrence Swap Meet. This is a great looking piece. I think this is 40, maybe 41-2 era, but I think it's up to 46, 47, 48 on this front hood badge for a Nash. I thought this is a great looking piece. Now, I'm sure these inserts would have originally been painted, but this is a great looking piece. Obviously, you can see how nice, bright, and shiny the chrome is. Very detailed piece. All these ridges and ribs and stampings are all very clear, including the letters for Nash. And it's a good looking piece. Now, it is V'd because it went on the front of the hood. We can actually see where it was notched to clear the hood molding. It is stud mount. It did bolt right to the front of the hood, and we can see all the detail on the back of this to see how crisp and clear this stamping was. Ads, hold up. Okay, I think I got them. Necklace piece like a wrapper. There you go. So it's a great looking piece. Condition on it is great. Nice, crisp, clear stampings. It's about 4 1/8 tall. So just a tick over 4 inches tall and 4 5/8 wide. So I thought it was a very pretty badge, very pretty emblem. Obviously, excellent condition considering it's probably 75 to 80 years old. Nice, bright, shiny chrome. Nice, crisp, clear stampings. Studs are intact. Just thought it was a great looking piece. So kind of some interesting stuff tonight, I thought. Some stuff that's a little bit different, but that's why we do this. Learn a little bit more, see some different things, see some cool things. The Grant grease cap, as well as the Nash front hood badge. Story time. Let's check out a car that Dad worked on. Actually, one other one that I don't really remember other than these two pictures. I do distinctly remember these pictures because I've seen these pictures for years. I don't think this car was around long. Dad can probably elaborate maybe a little bit on it. But he does think he's still got a lot of boxes of paperwork on some of these old cars. So I'm going to do some digging through some of that stuff as well. Now Pete needs a Grant. This picture was probably 75, 6, 7 era. Somewhere right in that window. So long time ago. On this 1957 Chevy 210 two-door Post. Pink and white two-door sedan. I don't really remember this car. I do remember these pictures, but I don't really remember the car. This was over in our old house, and I think we moved from there in 79. But one thing that's interesting in this shot and in some of these shots that are coming up, like we've talked about a little bit before, is that garage right there is where it all started. Kind of get a good shot of it there. That's what Dad had to work in when I came home from the hospital, and did so for several years. So this little 57, like I said, I don't think it was around too long. I think it was a fairly quick flip. Just a little there again, it was a 18 or 20-year-old car. Not anything like what they are today. They were starting to gain some popularity, but it's kind of weird to think about when we look at a lot of these pictures from this time frame, which would have been in that 72 to 79 window, that these were just old used cars. You know, fix them up, make sure they're roadworthy, safe, reliable, spiff them up, shine them up a little bit. And that's what these were back in the time period of when these pictures were taken. Michael's here with us on Facebook. So just kind of crazy to think about. That's what, like, just like Alex said, he remembers them being really cheap when they, yeah. So it's kind of crazy that as we look at these and study these, that all of, you know, these were essentially used cars. Bought it and sold it quickly. He thought Dad said he'd give $350 for it. He remembers buying it for $350 for a 57 two-door post. You can't buy a door for, you can't only buy a two-door post door for twice that today. So, yep. So that's kind of crazy to think about what these cars were then compared to what they are now. And that's another fun part about going through this old scrapbook and looking at this stuff from the mid-70s. That it's pretty cool to go back and check that stuff out. So it doesn't remember what he got out of it, but he thought he remembered he paid $350 for it. But $350 was pretty good money back then for a used car. You know, when you put it into perspective. That's right, Tony. It'd be just like something from the early 2000s today. And you know, we got to put that into perspective as we study this stuff and talk about this stuff from this era. But that's what makes it cool to be able to go back and do it. So that's what we've got for tonight. Raffle time. Who got in? Dad said he just cleaned it up and flipped it real quick. So let's grab the big Buick oil can and see who got in this week. All right. In the raffle this week, who's in the big Buick oil can? Kevin Brown, Martin Cruz, Austin McCoy, Big Job, and Adam Briggs. If you thought you got in this week and I did not read your name, get with me so we can get you in before next week. And what the heck, while we're here, let's give this away to I think I got one. I got down to one. Austin. So, Austin McCoy. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, a little Mercedes Tootsie. A little Mercedes Roadster Tootsie toy. Little dinky one. All right. Let's get Austin's name on that one, and that will ship with your next shipment. They do not ship by themselves, so we're going to write Austin's name on here. Yeah, these are kind of neat. They're nothing fancy, but they're kind of cool little pieces. That's why they make great bonus raffle pieces. And as always, these do not affect you, at least not this time. I got some different ideas coming up on the raffle, but this time, right back into the big Buick oil can for the big monthly raffle. Now, Next week, we are going to be yanking a name out of here for the mobile porcelain pump plate, as well as the flattened out mobile can. Condition on this is beautiful, but this is a flattened out can. It just happens to be amazing condition. The pump plate is rougher, but it is an actual mobile porcelain pump plate sign off of a gas pump. So those are the two raffle prizes as of right now for next week. We'll see how entries go this week on how many more places we're going to give out, because we're a little down on entries. So we'll see how many more entries we get to see how many more names we're going to draw. We're definitely drawing 2 names next week for the raffle. So, and I've got some killer ideas for some other upcoming raffles I can't wait to run by you guys. So, awesome, Z-Bear. Sounds great. I'm excited about that too. So, I didn't know how you were coming on that, but I know it's going to be amazing whenever we get to it. So, Hudson Badge. So anyway, we want to do some auction stuff tonight or what? Awesome, Z-Bear. So we'll probably have you for July then at this point. For the July raffle is what I'm thinking for Z-Bear. You guys are going to flip too. I ain't going to tell you what it is, because you're going to flip. Perfect. That'll work. That way we got a little bit of wiggle room. That way you don't have to worry about trying to have it for next weekend. So that'll work perfect for me if that'll work good for you. If that doesn't work or something's different, let me know. Just give me a shout tomorrow. Big Job is ready for auctions. Well, let's get into some auction stuff. Let's see how things go. We'll see what shakes out. Like I said, I figured we would do a few less auctions tonight because okay, perfect. That'd work great. If that gives you enough time, then that works perfect. Since I hadn't heard from you, that's kind of what I was figuring, but that works perfect. So, okay, let's do some auction stuff. We'll see how things go. I was figured on we were going to do 8 or 10 or 12. Awesome, Z-Bear. I'm excited. And then we'll see how things go. But we're going to do some auction stuff regardless. And then Pete throws the red dot out there like immediately, like boom, click. Wow, Pete is getting serious already. So we'll see how things go. And like I said, you guys wanted to do an extended auction, so we talked about doing that on the night of the raffle, which would be next week. So we will not do a magazine next week. If we do, it'll just be a snippet or two. But we're probably going to do, some more auction stuff. If Gray Kitty stays out of the auction box. Hey, what are you doing? You going to come say hi? You want to say hi? Come on. Come here. All right. Come on. Yes, you want to say hi to everybody? Here. Yes, say hi. Here, everybody looking at you. Say hi to everybody. Hi. Yes. Oh, yeah, they love boxes. She was over there rubbing up against the auction boxes. What do you think, Gray Kitty? You're getting some hearts. You're getting lots of hearts. You're purring. Are you happy? Phil wants to come back and see you. Yes, you're a great kitty. You're a great kitty. Okay. We're going to get the auction boxes out. Is that okay with you? All right. Put you down. I'm going to put you down. You ready? Well, now you don't want down. Now you don't want down. Okay, that figures. What are you doing? No, I don't want you to lick me. Yep, she hasn't wandered off since that time, so. What? What, knucklehead? What, knucklehead? Yes, you're a knucklehead. Okay, you need to get down because we're going to have some auctions, okay? We're going to have some auctions. You want to get down so we can have some auctions? No? You want to get down so we can have auctions? What are you doing? All right, we're going to have an auction. We're going to sell some stuff, okay? Yes. Yes, we're going to sell some stuff. Meow. Meow. Do you mind if we sell some stuff? Meow. Look over here. Hey, look over here. What? Yes. Okay, say bye. Say bye-bye. All right, time to say bye. I need to, hey. No, you got to let go. There. Okay, you got to get down. Ow, ow, ow. Where you? No, you got to get down. You got to get down. It's time to get down. Yes, it's time for you to get down. Yes, can you get down? Yes, let's let go here. If you would let go, we wouldn't have this problem. Come on. Hey, you won't let go. You don't bite me because you won't let go. Here. There. All right. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's get some auction boxes drug over here. Okay. All right. Let's get ready. Let's sell some cool stuff. Let's add some awesome stuff to your guys' collection. As always, we're going to show you a piece. Part, cap, toy, license plate. We're going to talk about that piece. We may talk about that particular vehicle in history. We're going to point out any damage the piece may have. We may give you some dimensions on the piece so you know how big it is. As we're doing all that, if it's something you're interested in, please throw a bid out there so I know we have interest in that particular piece. Good point, Randy. Round up for Pioneer Adoptions. Awesome. After we get done with the descriptions, I will announce who the current high bidder is, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, because we do have people bidding on both formats. And we will put it on a timer. We will go 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed. I will tell you when 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. I do it right here on my cell phone. I keep it right here on the corner of the computer so I can watch comments as I'm watching the timer. When I tell you 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed, it is time to be thinking about your maximum bid. Everybody has a delay. Some people it's 5 seconds. Some people it's 20 seconds. It varies based on your device, computer, smartphone, smart TV, tablet, as well as your internet provider, and it is unique to each and every one of you. So when I tell you 1 minute 30 has passed, it is time to be swinging out there with your maximum bid on that particular piece if you are seriously interested in it. We've got a lot of snipers on here, and they get really good, and it's not uncommon for somebody to slide a bid in there at 158 on the timer. However, some of those guys also end up with that bid coming in at 201, and it's too late. So please bear that in mind. Tonight is all smaller stuff, so shipping will be included in the 48 states. If you're a non-U.S. buyer, as always, you are more than welcome to play along. However, you will be responsible for getting me paid in U.S. funds as well as non-U.S. shipping. This thing kind of funds itself. So if we spend a fortune shipping a couple boxes out of the country, it kind of torpedoes it for everybody else for me to replenish the stock for the next auctions. So check, money order, PayPal, friends and family, Western Union, any of that works fine. And as always, if you've got any questions about something, you can always call me. My number is in the description part of this video. If you're not sure what's going on, but you see something you want to bid on, go ahead, bid on it. If you get it bought and you're still not sure what to do, call me tomorrow. We'll figure it out. Super simple, not a big deal. So anyway, any questions, just throw them up there. If I'll try to catch whatever I can. And as always, just give me a shout if you get something bought and you're not sure what to do. Full dollar amounts only, please, just because I'm trying to watch 2 formats and keep an eye on that stuff. So a lot of cool stuff tonight. We'll see how far you guys want to go. But like I said, I didn't plan on going real long tonight on this stuff, but we'll see what shakes out and how much fun you guys are having. And then plan on doing an extended auction next week. So we'll start off with a couple smaller pieces. We haven't done any of these in a while, but these are great. Okay, there's several of those neons on eBay. That's good to know. We haven't done any matchbooks in a while, and I actually did recently come up with another matchbook that was super cool, so I had another one that I threw in with it. So we're going to start off with matchbooks again tonight, but these are great matchbooks. The first one I think you've seen, because I had a couple of these. The new international trucks for the L series. This is 1950 to 1952. This one is about 3 3/4 by about 3 inches. Great colors. This one is completely empty. I did cut the heads off of them in the other matchbook that is going with this. This one from Jamestown, Kansas, Holgerson and Burdick. And it's a great looking piece. The next one, also an international, I just recently came up with this one. This one is 1956. And it is also full color and looks great. On the one side, it has a big tractor trailer. And on the other side, it has a pickup from the farm. This one, when you open it up, it does say International Trucks. It's got the IH logo across the spine. Inside, International Harvester Company, 25th and O, Omaha, Nebraska. International Trucks, all trucks built to save you the big money. So anyway, this set of International Truck matchbooks is where we're starting off tonight. If I can get this thing to lay out here so you guys can get a good look at it. Austin starting us out at 10. As you see, I did cut the heads off of these so they are safer to ship. Brian at 10, but I had Austin first. You're getting both of them. You're getting the set. They are great pieces, nice color. And let's get this thing live and on the timer. What's the Omaha one? There it is. I'll just show it to you. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. I had Austin's 10 first, so I've got him in the lead. And there's a minute 30. Minute 30 gone. 30 seconds left to go. Austin at 10. Bert's here with us. Balin Wire 15. Austin at 17. Pete at 18. Austin at 20, and that does it. Austin at 20. He's got it was rolling to the 200 when Austin's 20 came in. Brian had a 20 in there. But I had Austin at 20. So there's Balin Wire been hiding out in there. Let's mark those to Austin, get them set off to the side here. And I'm going to do something else here that's a little bit different. Something else that's kind of, and these usually don't bring a lot of money. I know that, but it's kind of different. Bert really loves his Rambler button. Great. Glad you enjoy that. That is a neat piece. Okay. We do occasionally when I buy a lot of these cans and stuff like that, I'll end up with some household type cans and things like that. So we work some of those in here. I know you guys, some of you guys like them. Some of them you like them for the house. Some of your wives like them. Balin Wire late tonight. Just got on. I'm glad you're here. We got ads. Okay, perfect. We'll take a break here for the ads. But Z-Bear still wanted to get with you, I think, on that one, the California piece, Balin Wire. He was asking where you were at, so. Sounds like we're back. Okay, perfect, Z-Bear. Okay, this next can, it's something a little bit different. If you guys don't like it, just tell me, and I'll throw it back in some other stuff. But it's kind of cool. It's a household can for crystallized pineapple, but it is old. Look at the artwork and the design on this thing. And this is paint. You can see the scratches in this. The raffle is next week, Bert. We're giving it away next week. It is just a fold open metal can. So it is just kind of a neat old can. So like I said, thought I'd throw it up there. If you guys aren't interested in it, fine. Some of this stuff gets mixed in with the gas and oil stuff that I get from time to time at auctions. So just wanted to throw it out there and see if there was any interest in it. Glenn at 10. Alex at 10. Okay, we got several people kind of interested in it. So let's get it on the timer, get rolling with it. I've got Glenn at 10. Alex at 12. Glenn at 15. I don't know if it probably was a candy. Washed and packed expressly for the Walter Hatch Company. I'm guessing it may have been sort of a candy. I don't know. But it's just, it's old. It's cool looking. I thought I'd throw it up there to see if you guys were interested. So. Sugar candy, says Justin. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. They still make it, okay. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. I did not see a year on it. I'm just, looking at the age, inside of the tin and the age of the finish on it and the fact that it is painted. Also known as a parts container, yeah, in its second life. Glenn at 15. A minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Just about ready to wind this one down. Glenn at 15. And that does it. We'll mark it to Glenn at 15. Let's see. Next Saturday, the Mother Road Rally, Tulsa Historic Route 66 will be some family activities and shopping. So stuff on Route 66 in Tulsa next Saturday if anybody is in that area. Okay, looks like I caught. Okay, I wanted to catch that. It looks like that's most of it. So, okay. Let's see what else we got laying around here. Okay. We haven't done any old wrenches in a while. This is kind of a beast here. Yeah, I don't know what this is for. Maybe some of you guys will be able to tell me what this is for because I don't have any clue. All I know is it's kind of cool and it's international. And it's kind of heavy. It has the IHC on it right there. You guys can make that out. Bert got his buggy wrench. There's a little more to this one. It's got a very interesting handle. And I don't know what this thing is. Maybe some of you guys do. I'm not sure what it's for. Maybe you could get a hold of anything. I don't know. Slide a piece of metal in there and bend it. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's for. But it's cool. It's early extra large nutcracker. It would probably do that. It does have kind of a number on it, but I can't really make it out, as well as the IHC. Yeah, combing your hair. Yep, it could do that. As well as the IHC logo on it right here. So, this thing is self-defense tool. It would do that. About 8 1/4 tall. It's for taking chain apart. Okay, thanks, Colt. I appreciate that because I don't have any clue. Weston at 10. It's for taking chain apart. I don't know how it works. Justin's got to jump off. I'm glad you're here, Justin. Sickle bar mower blade tool. But I know it's an actual factory IHC piece. So, Weston at 10. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. And see what happens, because I don't have any clue. Balin wire says working on chain. Okay, chain breaker. Okay, so lots of the chain is chain repair equipment is what it's a chain repair equipment. That's what it is. Balin wire 25. Leo at 12, but I've already got balun wire at 25 on the IHC chain wrench. I'm going to add that to my notes. I know it's getting heavy. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Balun wire at 25. chain breaker is the correct word. Okay, thanks, Colt. Appreciate that. I know it's old and heavy. And it's got a super early logo on it. Minute 30's gone. 30 seconds left to go. Getting ready to wind this one down. Baling wire at 25. That may have done it. He may have knocked everybody else out. Nope. Weston at 27. And that does it. Weston at 27. Cruz is here with us. There's Baling wire. Had a 30 in there, but didn't get here in time. There. Gray kitty fur now everywhere. Literally everywhere. Okay. Let's catch a plate. Greg's here with us. Zach's on. Whiskey business. Let's go back to 1958. Pawnee County, Kansas truck plate. 58 plates I thought were great looking plates. Deep blue with yellow numbers and letters. They definitely stand out. Check that one out. Standard size plate, roughly 12 by 6. T for truck. 58 was this nice deep blue with the yellow letterings and markings on them. You see the back of it. It's got a little bit of a twist to it, but not bad. But a good looking plate with nice colors. It's got a little bit of wear around the edges, but not bad. Still nice and shiny. Good colors. And let's see. We've got Bert at 12. Michael at 15. Let's get it on the timer. I've got Michael at 15. Lots of 15s. I had Michael on Facebook first. Austin at 17. Austin at 17, and we are live and on the timer. Bert at 18. Cruz at 25. Cruz on Facebook at 25. Yeah, it does have great colors, that's for sure. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Zach at 26. Buick Man's had to refresh 3 times. Holy cow. We may have issues tonight if you're having that kind of trouble. Zach at 26. Michael Gogol at 28. Minute 30's gone. 30 seconds left to go. Michael at 28. Zach, 31. Just about ready to wind this one up. Zach at 31. And that does it. Whiskey business at 31. Okay. Now, like we've been, yep, you still got it, Zach. Like we've been talking about, I bought those big boxes of horn buttons and badges and emblems and stuff at the Lawrence Swap Meet. We got a few pieces to mix in out of there tonight as well. This first one is just a basic center horn button, but it is really nice with really deep colors. For our Chevrolet fans, this little horn button center, look at this baby. Check out that emerald green with that deep blue bow tie against it. This is just the plastic insert out of the button. The metal part is missing. We can see how this is all cast into the plastic. And we can see that deep emerald green with the silver lines and the deep blue bow tie on it. It is a smaller piece. It is 2 1/4, just over 2 inches in diameter. We've got Bert at 15, and we're going to get this thing rolling on the timer. 53, 54. Cruise at 20. Zach stocked up on him. Bert, 23. No, Michael, you got outbid $31 by Whiskey Business on the plate. Bert at 23 on the Chevy button. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Bert at 23, getting close to that minute 30 mark. One minute, 30 seconds gone, 30 seconds left to go. Bert at 23. Few seconds left coming out of the wire. Bert at 23. Alec at 30. Austin at 25. Alec at 30 still. Austin at 30, and that did it. Alec at 30. Austin had a 31, but it was too late. Alec at 30. And that's like what we talk about, guys. Alec hit that 30, and there was a 25, a 27, and then Austin came in at 30, all within 5 seconds of Alec's 30. He took the shot. It worked. He got up there and covered the other ones, and by the time Austin got his 31 back in, it was too late. It was over with. So Alec snuck that one out of there at 30. And it is a pretty piece, so... Hold on just a second, guys. Trying to get a hold of me. Okay. All right. What else we got? How about a toy? Anybody want to do a toy? How about a toy tractor? This is an international, I think, from the 80s. It's in good shape. It's a metal tractor with plastic wheels, nice paint, original stickers. Good. If I was a tractor guy, I would definitely be keeping this. But since I'm not a tractor guy, it really doesn't have much use for me. But it is a nice looking little toy. Still has the original stickers on the front, the original International stickers on the side. You can tell based on the condition, with the paint and everything, this thing is not beat up. All the original wheels. I think it's 80s, and I think it's in pretty decent shape. Tractor Mike has more toy tractors than anybody on the planet, I think. I don't think there's many toy tractors the Tractor Mike doesn't have. I mean, you got to get into like Big Bud type stuff, and he's even got some of the Big Bud stuff. I don't think he's got all the Big Bud stuff, but he's even got some of the Big Buds. So he's got some hard-hitting tractor toys. This one is about 5 inches long, from going from the back of the tire up to the front up here. It's about a 5-inch toy. Like I said, condition is very nice. I don't think it was played with that hard. Good decals. Like I said, if I was a tractor guy, I would have to keep it. Bird at 8. Let's get her rolling. It's got to be worth more than that, but that's going to get us started. So let's go. Bert at 8 on the little International tractor. Brian at 10, Glenn at 10, Glenn at 12, Bert at 14. Tractor Mike got all the old ones, none of the last few years of Internationals. Glenn at 16 on the little International. Waycamp at 16. I got Glenn first. Waycamp at 20. Balin Wire at 27. Glenn at 30. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Waycamp 33. Glenn 35. Just about to hit that minute 30 mark. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Balin Wire 37. Just about ready to wind this one down. Balin Wire at 37. And that did it. Balin Wire at 37. Bert needs a badge. There we go. That is a cute little toy, though. I mean, it really is. Okay, what do we got next? We haven't done a hubcap. This is a beauty. I don't know if we want to do that one yet. Should we do this one yet? I don't know. This is pretty cool. Do it. Anybody like shiny Chevy caps? This thing's so cool, though. I don't know if we should. Maybe we should hold it for next week when everybody's on. Oh, wait a minute. Ads. Everybody says sell it. Sell it this week. Don't hold it till next week. It's a good looking cap. Okay, for our Chevy guys, or really anybody, because this is a great looking piece to hang in your man cave, a chrome Chevy pickup cap. Check this baby out. Few dings and dents, but nice, bright, shiny chrome, original paint. This is a good looking cap. Backside's a little bit dirty, but who cares? This appears to be all original paint. You can see a few scuffs and scratches in it, but and a few dings and stuff, but there again, it's original. This thing, I mean, I've got it in a bunch of caps. I bought a whole entire pickup load of caps a couple weeks ago. It was in there. Cruiser's ready to sell it. So like I said, this thing, it is original. I think it is 70s. I didn't double check and see. But man, it's just there again. If you like hanging caps, which we all like hanging caps, this thing looks awesome. Let me give you a size on this thing. It's about 10 and 5/8. So it's, most of these are 10 to 10 and a half. This is on the larger size of that. I think it's just half ton. Devin says 70 to 72. So like I said, it is a good looking piece. I guess you guys want to sell it, so I guess we're going to sell it. So let's see where we're at. We've had a few bids to start us off with. Bert at 30. Looks like we're with Bert at 30. Let's get this thing on the timer, and here we go. Michael at 25. I've got Bert at 30 already on YouTube. Michael at 36. Devin at 35. I've got Michael at 36 on Facebook. Bert, 38. Devin at 40. Thanks for the Facebook like, guys. Bert, 41. Nut Farm's peeking around the corner. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. We're going to find out in 1 minute who's going to end up with this thing coming to them. And I did not get a set of these guys. This was just the only one I think that was in there. I think there's another chrome one, but it's not blue center. Okay, 6-star was for the 6 lug, 5-star, 5 lug. Michael at 44 on Facebook. Michael at 44 with 30 seconds left to go. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left. Devin at 45. This one might get interesting here as we come down to the end. Devin at 45. Zach, 51. Couple seconds left. What's going to happen? Pete at 57. And that does it. Pete sneaks in there with 57 with a couple seconds left. Zach came back at 58, but it was too late. Pete at 57, and that's a beauty. I thought that one might get a little interesting, but yeah, and it did, but it's a cool piece. All right, that was fun. What else we want to do? How about another oil can? Let's do another oil can. Metal quart can. From the Skelly Company. Skelly Tagline S3 certified motor oil, 1 quart metal ribbed can. Look at this thing. Look at this baby shine. Silver can with the red and blue letters. Leo at 10. This is drained. It was used from the top. It's got 1 dent over here on the side. but it is double-sided as far as the logo. The seam is right here if you guys can see it. I don't know how much reflection you guys are getting, but this baby's bright. SAE something. I can't make out all the SAE listing on there. But still, regardless, it's a sharp-looking Skelly can. Let's see. We've got, what do we got going on here? That's all the shiny you'll ever need. Dean at 16. Zach got to put sunglasses on for a can. That is rare. We got Dean at 16 as we hit the timer and get going on this one. Good looking piece. And we got a special can from Baling Wire for next week. You guys don't want to miss that either. Leo at 17. Dean at 18. As we're coming up on that 1 minute mark. Zach at 21. 1 minute gone. 1 minute left to go. Bottom's in good shape, just clean. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Just about ready to wind this one down. Zach at 21. Pete 27, and that does it. Whew! Pete's on fire. Zach had a 29, and it was too late. Pete at 27, and those last two bids have been right there in that 157, 158 window. Holy cow. Z-Bear and Baling Wire. I know Z-Bear wants to get a hold of you, Baling Wire, about that stuff. If you guys have not gotten on Pete's email list, this is a great place to start. Send Pete an email with your information. Pete does have an email list for viewers. So Baling Wire and Z-Bear, if you guys have not emailed Pete and got on that list, that is probably the best way to get in touch with each other. So perfect, Z-Bear. Yep. All right. Let's do another horn button. This one has some nice deep colors in it as well. This is just the plastic center part of it. And I believe this is Hudson. I'm not sure. I'm just looking at the ornament in the middle. But this thing is really cool. Check this out. Check the colors out. Not only the colors, but look at the depth in this button. Now, we see this brilliant blue around the outside edge. It's got this diamond in the middle, which I think is the Hudson symbol. But what we really want to focus on is Leo at 11. Perfect. Baling Wire thinks he's already on there. That's awesome. Look at the depth of all these crystal-looking pieces that go around the center diamond and how it, like, sinks it in. I mean, it, like, literally sucks you in. It's amazing. Now, we're going to look at the back of this so you can really get a look at this. Because when we look at the backside, we can see how this is made. And look at the fine detail Hopefully you guys can make it out. How this gets larger and goes smaller all the way to the diamond to show you that depth, that when you're sitting in the car and you look down at that and you see that depth in that button. Just a super cool piece. A little bit of paint loss down here in this corner. Nice deep blue, deep silver diamond in the center. Let me give you a dimension. Just over 3 inches, like 3 1/8 on the outside diameter. We've got Bert at 20 as we get this thing kicked off and on the timer. It could hypnotize you. That's true. It does kind of look like a disco button. Bert at 20 as we hit the 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Bert at 20. Sniper material. It could be. All I know is we're going to find out here in about 30 seconds because there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left to go. String light it and spin it. There you go. Bert at 20, and that's it. Leo started us off at 11, then Bert at 20, and that's been it. It's been crickets. Bert at 20, we're about done with this one. That's going to be about it. Z-Bear 22. And that was it. Z-Bear at 22. Zach had a 31 in there, but it was too late. Z-Bear at 22. Zach was about a second and a half too late on that thing. Zach's lost his touch. It was close. I mean, it was less than 2 seconds, but that was it. So let's catch another plate. This one from a different state even. And it's kind of odd. This one was kind of caught me off guard when I was checking it out. Going back to 1950, 74 years ago to Illinois. But it specifically says that it is the rear plate. Didn't know they had to tell them the front of the rear, but this one is the rear plate from 1950 in Illinois. White with green letters. Pretty decent shine on this one for being 74 years old. A little bit of surface rust and a few scratches and scuffs on the back of it. Roughly standard sized plate in that 12 by 6 window. Leo at 15. Yep, about 12 by 5.5, so kind of a normal size plate. But this hole here appears to be extra. Somebody added that. But overall, nice looking plate for something that's 74 years old and has definitely stood the test of time and still looks good. So Leo at 15, let's get this thing on the timer and get rolling. Devin at 20. right, working our way towards the 1 minute mark on this one. Leo 21. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Leo at 21. That's true, number one. Never thought of it that way. B is for a trailer. Okay, minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Randy says B, so that would mean why it's on the rear. So it was for a pup trailer. So it's kind of a rare piece. Leo at 21. Thanks for that, Randy. I did not know that. That's why it says rear. It's for a pup. Coming down to the wire, getting ready to wrap this one up. Leo at 21 with a few seconds left to go. Dean at 22. Zach at 31. Zach got that one in there as it rolled to 200. You didn't have another second, Zach, but you got it snuck in there by like that much, like by one of Gray Kitty's hairs that she left here. You need to back up a little bit more, Zach, but you got that one in. But man, it was rolling from 159 to 200 when that 31 came through, Zach. It was that close. But you got her done. It departed Dean's head. That's about right. I'm sure it did. How about a grease cap? We haven't done a grease cap yet. What? Okay, number one's got a technical question. I don't know if this is the right group for a technical question, but what the heck. But I do know we got a grease cap coming up. We've done one of these in the past. This one is really in pretty nice shape. I'm impressed with the condition on this one. A few of you guys may already have this one, but this one is nice and straight. From the Star Motor Company. This is an early one. It is a smaller cap. It just has a very nice, clean, crisp star stamped on it. We can even see the star in the back side of it. 80s G10 dash fit in a C10 square body. No idea. Do not know for sure if those are the same or not. Obviously, internal threads, like all these grease caps typically are. The hex around the side of it. Leo 15. 2 1/4 in diameter on this one. By about 1 5/8 inches tall. It's 1 5/8 inches tall. So, like I said, we've done a few of these in the past. This one is pretty nice, crisp, clear. Leo at 15, we are on the timer. Let's see what happens. Let's see if anybody else still needs one of these for their collection. But it is a nice, crisp, clean, probably teens era. So I bet this thing is pushing 110 years old. Kind of crazy to think about it when it's, 100, probably 110 years old. Rusty Okie at 16. Nut Farm does have this one. I knew we've done some of these in the past. This one is a pretty clean one, so I thought we'd mix another one in. We'll definitely have some more grease caps for next week. So I've already got some in here. But Leo at 19. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Leo at 19 on the Star grease cap. And there's the minute 30 mark. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Leo's worried about a sniper. We got a few seconds left to go. Leo at 19. Bert at 22. And that'll do it. Bert at 22. All right. Let's catch one more piece, then we'll kind of see where we're at. I got one more plate laying here on the desk. I got a ton of stuff right here. I mean, we could easily knock out another night just what's in this pile, which doesn't count the whole tote full of stuff over there. Michael had a 26 hanging in there, too, that just popped up. So, Bert got lucky on that one. Michael had a 26 on Facebook. It just didn't get here until a little bit too late. All right. Let's catch one more plate, and then we'll kind of see where we're at if we want to do anything extra tonight. Going back to a Kansas plate and going back to the year 1937. Let's auction like it's 1999. A nice looking 1937 Kansas plate. Black, yellow letters, county 61. Back looks good. This thing is flat. It's clean. Some scuffs, some scratches. But this is original paint. Kenny at 10. Leo at 20. 1937. So this thing, Devin at 30. Going back 87 years. And in amazing shape. Leo at 40. Let's get this thing on the timer. This is one of the longer, narrower plates. 14 and a half by 4 3/8. So 14 and a half, 4 3/8. So this is the longer, skinnier one, but these are great looking pieces. All original condition. It's kind of hard to imagine that this thing looks this good at this age. We've got Leo at 40. Zach, just keep it going. I may have been going through withdrawals. Norton County, up northwest Kansas. Leo at 40. Had an ad warning. I think I got him shut down. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Leo at 40. Michael at 43. Z-Bear 45. There's the minute 30 mark. A minute 30 gone. 30 seconds left to go. Z-Bear 45. About ready to wind this one down. I've got Z-Bear at 45. And that does it. Z-Bear at 45. All right. What do you guys think? You want to do a couple more, or do you want to wait till next week and do it? Because we're going to go longer on auctions next week. You guys tell me if we want to squeeze a few more things in. And Austin says more. Keep going. What's everybody think? More. All right, we can do a few more. I don't want to ruin next week either. We'll get a few more, and then we'll see how things are going. What else have we not done? We haven't done a hubcap in a little bit. We need to do a hubcap. Actually, man, we'll do a couple more hubcaps. There's Art. Ready for some more. Let's give you some more Hudson. Let's keep going with some Hudson badge. Yeah, I've got plenty of stuff to do, Rusty Oak. There is no doubt about it. Do you have the Nylon Monster Dune Buggies? No, I do not. No, I'm not selling the Grant. That's the only one I've got. Emblems? You want some emblems? We have not done any emblems in a while, Kenny. That's a good point. I got some Ford truck emblems, some Dodge truck emblems. Do not have any valve covers. Do another raffle draw. Yeah, we'll squeeze one with a 41 plate. I do not have a 41 in here tonight, Dean, but I do know I've got a few of those on the shelf. So I will grab one of those. I sold the 37 Chevy truck. Not sure on that one, Kenny, where we're at on that one. We do need to catch another bonus drawing. Let's do that after we get done with the auctions, Leo. Remind me after we get done, we'll catch one more. No Californias tonight, so 37 Chevy truck at the yard. The ones I've got out there, they're just bits and pieces left of them. Any Pontiac stuff? Okay. All right, let's catch. All right, let's catch this one cap, and then I got some Ford truck emblems. We want to do some Ford truck emblems. I got some Dodge truck emblems. Perfect, Z-Bear. This next cap, this is kind of an odd duck. We've done some of these in the past. I think very similar to this, if not identical. Yes, Gray Kitty, can I help you? That's right, and Leo does try to throw a few extra bucks in to help with shipping. That is always super great. I do appreciate that. But sometimes you guys do that. We've done some Rambler caps in the past that look very similar to this one. But this one is for a Nash. Now, I think we've done some of these with the little dots around them, but it had an R on it. And this has an N on it. Bird at 15. So I'm thinking this is like a Rambler, the Nash version of the Rambler cap. This is a stainless cap. This is all stamped into the back of the cap. The N would have been red. Some of these I've repainted. Some of them I haven't, because I leave them up to you guys whether you want to repaint them or not. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought we did one of these that just had the R. Big Job got it. This one has the N on it. So I thought that was kind of cool. That's what I was thinking. So I'm glad you confirmed that for me, Big Job. I appreciate that. Let me give you a size on this thing, and then we're going to get it on the timer. 10 1/8. It's 10 1/8 in diameter. Good point, Z. Z-Bear says we'll turn it on its side. So it's a Z. There we go. Great idea. I don't know where Jess is at tonight. Z for Zach. There, you could do that too. Anyway, let's see where we're at on the bid. Bert at 22, and let's get this thing on the timer. Alex, 25. Randall the Nut Farm at 30. Leo's getting hit with a storm. Well, stay safe, Leo. I hope everything goes good there. Bert at 31. As we hit the 1 minute mark, 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Yep, a lot of them were used for dog bowls. There's no doubt about that. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Bert at 31. Nut Farm, 35. Zach, 41. Coming down to the wire, Zach at 41 with a few seconds left to go. And that does it. Zach at 41. All right, what else do we want to get out tonight? What do we want to save for next week? Here's a cool, why don't we do this emblem? Kind of an emblem. You guys want to do an emblem? This is a cool piece. That's actually a radio delete. We've done some radio deletes in the past. And this is a great piece. All right. You guys dig radio deletes. I dig radio deletes. They're so cool. This one's been laying in here for a while, and I keep debating on what I want to do with it, but I think we need to sell it to you guys. I'm not sure what year this is. I think it's early 40s. Leo at 10, you don't even care. It is nice and shiny. It is bright. It is pretty. It is cool. On this Buick Special radio delete badge. Look at this thing. Check out the chrome on that. Bird at 11. Had fake looking radio knobs because that's where the hole it was filling. This is chrome plated pop metal. Look at the chrome on this thing. I think it is 40s. Not sure on the exact year. You can see where the lip rolls under the edge of the dash. Just bolted right on the back edge of the dash. But it is a pretty, pretty piece. Let me get the tape measure here so you guys have an idea on size. It's about 8 3/4 long by about 2.5. So just under 9 inches long. The special lettering is all cast into it. That is original chrome, and it looks great. All right, lots of action on this. Where are we at? Dean at 27. Z-Bear 45. So let's get this thing rolling. Z-Bear at 45. Z-Bear's going to have to do a little extra work this week. Yeah, I don't blame you. We're ticking away. I've got Z-Bear at 45. One minute gone. 1 minute left to go. No lunch this week for Dean. Look at the shine on that thing. Minute 30's gone. 30 seconds left to go. I didn't know we ever did a delete plate. Now I'm going to have to start collecting them. Zach, 46. Few seconds left. Zach at 46. Z-Bear, 50. And that got it done. Z-Bear at 50. Zach took another shot at 51, but it was too late. Z-Bear at 50. It's a beauty of a piece, too. All right, let's catch one more cap, and then we'll save the rest of it for next week. His thumbs fumbled that one for Zach. 64 to 69 Ford deletes. I'll see if I've got any. I probably do out there if I started looking. Let's catch one more cap tonight, and then we're going to call it good and move on and catch a little bit of a magazine and get ready for a little bit more of an auction next week. Let's catch one more piece for our Ford fans. This is a good-looking cap. I love this logo. This is 40s era, probably late 40s. Rusty Okie starting us at 20, just as it's a Ford cap. Stainless steel. Any beach gauges? Nope, no beach gauges tonight, Brian. With a cool-looking Ford logo stamped into this cap. Obviously, we can see where the blue still has little bits and pieces of blue left. You can repaint the blue in this and polish it up and really make it pop. You can see the dings and dents in it. Leo 21. You polish this up, repainted the blue, it would look amazing. This is a stainless cap with a steel ring on it, but we can see how this is all stamped in to the cap itself of this whole logo and design. So, size on this one, and then we'll get going. Gold-plated Galaxy emblems in the script. I don't think I do. Not right now. This one's about 9.5 in diameter. Upper model line with the sidelines on it. So, okay. And let's get this thing on the timer. How far away is the Barry Seals plane? That is in Beaumont, Kansas. It's about 2.5 hours away from me. It is right on Highway 400. Repaint at Mega Clock. Yep. Yes, the Barry Seals Beach Burt's at 26 is in Beaumont, Kansas. A buddy of mine owns that. And definitely well worth stopping and grabbing a burger there for sure. Or you got a hotel there if you need a place to stay. Burt at 26. Rusty Okie, 27. Nut Farm at 30. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Nut Farm at 30. No, it is actually towards you, Pete. It is east of Wichita. Minute 30's gone, 30 seconds left to go, and we've got the Nut Farm at a $30 bid. Kevin at 36. There's Kevin been out there sleeping on us. Kevin at 36. We got a few seconds left. Is anybody going to get in there yet? Kenny at 37, and that got it done with about 2 seconds left. I literally thought we were done. It was going from 158 to 159. Kenny got a 37 in there. All right. Oh, Kevin had a wedding tonight. Okay. I was kind of wondering where you were at. So, all right. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the auctions for tonight. We'll save some of this stuff for next week. Like I said, you guys wanted to do a little bit longer auction. So sometimes we do those on the nights we do the raffles. So I thought we would squeeze that in. And Leo says wanted to do another bonus raffle. I don't think if I got something else left in the can. Let me reshuffle here. The cans got shoved that way when I moved boxes over here. So bear with me a second. Let me get regrouped. All right. How do you get the raffles, eBear? Whenever you pay me, just if you want in, it's $1 a chance. So whatever you want to, however you pay me, and just say $5, $10, $20, whatever. However many times you want your name in the big Buick oil can for the raffle, just add it to your payment or whatever, or send a separate payment, whatever you want. So, pedal car auction for October. Rough, November, good, valve cover signs. That's a whole bunch of stuff there, number one. Yeah. Send me money for the raffle and say it's for the Rusty Okie. I don't think anybody's ever done that. We've had that a lot. People ask how to get into the raffle. I don't think anybody's ever slid that one in on them to send Chad money and put your name for the Rusty Okie on it. So there's not much left in here. I think there's a couple of matchbooks left in here. Awesome. Appreciate that, Zach. More Johnny Carson comments. It still baffles me that you guys think that anything we do is even remotely close to that, but these appear to be some matchbooks, so that we're going to have to refill this can. We're going to give these away in a bonus drawing, and we're going to give them to Alec. Johnny Carson. Okay. I guess that's one way to put it. So we'll send these last couple matchbooks that were in the bonus drawing can to Alec. So do we want to see him or we just want to send them to him? I want to put his name on him for sure. Actually, I'm going to put his name right here. We're going to make sure we get it big back in the big Buick oil can. And let's get Alec on both of these. Open them. Okay, let's open them real quick here. Before I do that, just to make sure I don't mess this up, I'm getting Alec's name right back into the can. Glad you had a good time tonight, Z-Bear. Let's take a look at these and see what we're sending to Alec. Tourist Motel and Phillips 66. It's Art's first night. We're glad you're here, Art. Let's all welcome Art. Glad you're having a good time with us. So those are kind of some cool ones. I like the approved tourist home with the old car, probably from the 60s era on there. So I think we can stuff these both back in here. Kind of. Okay, it's not going to be pretty, but they're both in there, Alec. Okay. We get all these slips back into here. Get this stuff all reshuffled around there. Get regrouped. We're going to check out a little bit of a magazine yet tonight as well. So thanks for that, Brian. I don't know if this is the best show around, but that is an awful nice compliment. I do appreciate that. Leo agrees. Wow, thanks, guys. That's honestly, it's very flattering and humbling that you guys actually think that. That's awesome. Oh, perfect, Austin. Appreciate that. We haven't brought out the big badge yet tonight. Let me kill these ads. Get business settled before the dirty magazines. Gray Kitty singing. Gray Kitty, you singing? Hey, Gray Kitty, you singing? She don't care. We haven't brought out the big kahuna of badges yet tonight. We got to do it at least once. I dance off screen. Here you go, guys. The big Chug-a-Lug badge. The Uber Super Rare Auburn 12 for a 34 Salon front bumper badge. The big Chug badge. Have not shown that yet tonight, so we had to get that worked in. But let's catch a little bit of magazine. Tractor Mike dances, but the quarters bounce off at twice the speed. Oh, you haven't seen that one, Zach? Yeah, this is the Chug-a-Lug badge. We still use these for the regular ones. When things get serious, we pop this one out. Art is new, art must chug. And in case you guys don't remember, this badge here was used. There were, production-wise, the car that used this badge, they made somewhere between 12 and 14 cars. Not 12 and 1,400, not 12 or 14,000. They made somewhere between 12 and 14. There were 8 Phaetons made, and somewhere between 4 and 6 cabriolets made. So, yeah, so maybe 13. Because some people say there were 4 cabriolets, some people say there were 6 cabriolets. So 12 to 14 cars were produced that used this badge. This is an original. I got at Auburn Cord Duesenberg, and it's a beauty. So this is the hard-hitting Chug-a-Lug badge. Bailey Wire just chugged a strawberry milkshake. That doesn't sound all bad either. So that's what Tractor Mike drinks tonight, somewhere between 12 and 14. In a night or like in an hour? Because you might need to clarify that. Because 12 or 14 just gets Mike primed when we get the Mecum. So yeah, this is a pretty special piece. I was thankful that Doug sold it to me. It was not cheap, but it's amazing. Look at the size of the stud on the back of this. It's a beast of an emblem. So anyway, let's move on to some magazine stuff tonight. Since we're not going to do much magazine next week because we're going to be extending the auction, we're going to catch a little bit more of Automobile Trade Journal, but we're not going to go back to 1913. We're going to go back to the one from Glenn from 1934. But speaking of which, how about last week and the Automobile Trade Journal from 1913? Who remembers we talked about last week? The Dodge brothers, the breaking news in September of 1913 about the Dodge brothers leaving Ford. That's what's so amazing about these. That's why these are great. But tonight we're going to spend a little time with the one of the ones that Glenn donated. He actually donated us two. This one is October 1934 from the Automobile Trade Journal. So we're going to catch a couple pages in this one tonight. Now, one good thing, as you all know, in this Automobile Trade Journal from 1913, when we started on this, actually was one of the days that Kevin came through. So I had Kevin's business card for a bookmark for this one. Now, Kevin, being the thoughtful guy that he is, when he sent his payment last week, he sent some more business cards, so we've got more notes, so we've got more bookmarks. So huge shout out to Kevin for thinking about us. Now we've got Kevin bookmarks in both of them. Now, if you remember, as we went last time when we wrapped up on this one, Leo's got to get going, and we'll keep an eye on the weather. I don't blame you, Leo. If it's getting nasty there, definitely keep an eye on that stuff and make sure you take shelter if you need to. When we wrapped up the last time we were in this Automobile Trade Journal from October 1934, you'll probably remember the ad about the Hupmobile. And also we touched on the table of contents on some of the articles that are coming up in this issue from 1934. So let's start diving into this and catch a few articles in here. How much were the Dodge brothers worth when they left Ford? Let's double check that real quick because that is such an amazing story. We'll jump back to 1913 real quick because it was a staggering amount. Let's see. Their dividends, just their dividends from Ford for this year in 1913 were 1.1 million. That was their dividends. But I thought it said what their actual stock was worth. Okay. Their stock in Ford, it is understood that they do not intend to dispose of their interests in Ford, which are variously estimated at from $20 to $25 million. And this is in 1913. They owned $20 to $25 million worth of Ford stock, and they had 1.1 million in dividends just in 1913. So, I mean, stupid big numbers today. Imagine what those numbers were 110 years ago. So, anyway, let's get into the October 1934 issue of the Automobile Trade Journal. As we flip past the table of contents, we catch another ad. On his second 100,000, yes, yet the motor, transmission, and differential still have all their original, genuine Chevrolet parts. When the speedometer turns up 100,000 miles with everything in the car running sweet and smooth, you naturally feel like telling the world about it. That's what happened to MC Bledsoe of Harlingen, Texas. And that is how we got this impressive story of the durability and sound construction of genuine Chevrolet parts. Because there are a lot of owners like Mr. Bledsoe talking about Chevrolet stamina. Most people know what they want when they need replacements. They want genuine Chevrolet parts and nothing else. So naturally, the garage that carries these parts gets the business. Chevrolet Motor Company, Detroit, Michigan, a division of General Motors. $1913 today, $1913.25 million would be $2 billion today. So yeah, they weren't worried about their next meal. 100,000 miles was a pretty big deal on a car in 1934 for sure. Now, this is another interesting bit here, and I'm going to read this to you. There's not a lot of, there's one small picture here, but it kind of puts things into perspective, because remember, we're in October 1934. We're in the middle of the Great Depression. Things aren't good for a lot of people at this point in time. Hanging on the ropes. Some folks say old man depression is hanging on the ropes. New dealers are moving toward the right in their economic thinking. Rugged individualists are getting rugged again. Even the most conservative economists are predicting that credits can't hide in banks bulging with a do-nothing dollars much longer. In spite of increased costs imposed by NRA codes, most automotive businesses are sporting more black ink these days. Inventories are at the lowest ebb in the Depression. Automotive business has never been in a better position to make more profit, or even a slight upturn in sales. So they're looking positive. We're coming towards hopefully what would be the end of what became known the Great Depression. Surprised that Chevy still had wood at 200,000. Yeah, no kidding. I think it would have shook apart by then. Depression has taught automotive retailers and wholesalers how to run their businesses more intelligently and economically. It has taught them to more intelligently use facts by emphasizing the value of facts. The Automobile Trade Journal Marketing Annual out in November is planned especially to give its readers facts about markets, merchandise, and methods to help them put selling effort where it will do the most good in 1935. So, the Automobile Trade Journal's new marketing magazine coming out, encouraging dealers, trying to be positive, that we're seeing that hopefully the depression is starting to slip. New car inventories are going down because people are buying those cars, and maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel. But being intelligent and smart and effective in your marketing and advertising is where they were pushing this thing. A lot of what we see today. You know, how to run their business more intelligently and economically. In today's world, you have to. So it's kind of crazy that there again, the more things stay the same, the more things change, the more things stay the same, and the more we continue to see that. This is great history, Kenny. It's a lot of fun. This was kind of an interesting tidbit. With bands playing, dealer meetings cheering, and newspapers giving him headlines, Roy Faulkner last month came back to the scene of his former triumphs, to the presidency of the Auburn Automobile Company. The noise and acclaim with which his return was hailed broadcast to timber, a quality to its tone which somehow seemed different from that which greets almost every executive on his accession to an important post. A consistent undertone of personalized sincerity seemed to filter through the pounding of the brasses and the beating of the drums of official welcomes. Now, from what I gathered from when I skimmed this article, Roy Faulkner had been an executive with Auburn. He had left, and they got him back. Uncle Shaggy, glad you're back. Been in the county jail. Well, that doesn't sound like any fun, but I'm glad you're back, Uncle Shaggy, and hanging out with us for a bit tonight. So, a big deal about Roy Faulkner returning to the helm of Auburn. Now, obviously, as we know now, this is October of 1934. We do know now that the Auburn Cord-Duesenberg Company was almost on its last breath. By the end of the 30s, it was gone. So really, it just at that point, the writing was probably on the wall, even though there was a lot of fanfare about Roy Faulkner returning as president of the company. It still just wasn't enough to save it all. So, yeah, I didn't know either, Pete. I mean, we're all learning something. So kind of interesting there again. It was a pretty big deal. But obviously, a few short years later, the Auburn Cord-Duesenberg Company was gone anyway. But the remnants of the company were bought up by Dallas Winslow. He was a guy that bought up failed companies. He knew there were a lot of these cars on the road. He knew there were a lot of people that were going to be needing parts and service. So Dallas Winslow bought the rest of the company out of bankruptcy, owned it till 1960 when our good friend Doug Pray's father, Glenn, bought the company from Dallas Winslow. So, but there was a very bright glimpse of hope in October of 1934 for the Auburn Company. Now, this was kind of an interesting tidbit. In Union, there is used car volume. This was an experiment that obviously didn't work because we don't see them today, and I've never heard anything about it. But the used car mart, the world's greatest selection of used cars backed by Philadelphia Ford dealers. So what they were doing, 23 Philadelphia Ford dealers pool cars, salesmen, time, and energy at one spot in an effective used car plan. So obviously the used car market, even in today's world, is tough, trying to find something good at a fair price. Well, here's what they were trying in 1934. The Ford dealers of Philadelphia proved that when dealers decide to do things collectively, when their united action is based on sound ideas, well thought out plans, and intelligent cooperation, they go places and sell used cars. 23 dealers. Now imagine trying to get 23 dealers on the same page today. 23 dealers faced their problem of mounting used car inventories together. Improved sales conditions brought larger stocks of used cars, big cars and little cars, all sizes and shapes, makes and models. To move these stocks, they did what one man couldn't afford to do. They reached more prospective buyers than they could hope for as individuals. They formed the Philadelphia V8 Dealers, Inc., a permanent cooperative used car merchandising plan, a centralized unit where they moved cars faster and for more money than they had been able to move them at their own sales rooms and showrooms and lots. Each dealer holds an equal share in the company. They planned a vast display of used cars, 5 acres of them, used 5 floors of a building owned by the Ford Motor Company, originally erected as an assembly plant, opened for business on September 6th. News and radio advertising, dynamic and forceful, announced the used car mart. The used car mart is located at Broad and Lehigh Avenue in Philadelphia at the intersection of two of the most heavily trafficked thoroughfares in the city. A giant sign on front of the building, 25 by 125 foot, broadcasts a bold message to passersby. On the opening day, the cooperating dealers had supplied 350 cars for the display and expect shortly to push the total up to 500. The cars displayed are consigned to the operating corporation by the cooperating dealers who condition them before they are consigned. Now, when you think about this, 350 cars, this is 1934. Can you imagine what was in there? A lot of cars that don't exist today. There's a lot of cars we've probably never even heard of. All in this one building on display as a used car super showroom, pretty much. They service the cars, check them over before they send them down. Dealer's identity is not indicated on the cars displayed. At present, there is no limit to the number of used cars that each dealer is permitted to send to the used car mart. The price of each used car. Now, this was the tricky part, and I'm sure what everybody's been wondering about. The price of each used car is set by the dealer who owns the particular car, and it may not be changed without his consent. In fact, it is a policy of the Philadelphia V8 Dealers, Inc. to name, publish, and display the price on all used cars. No waiting to see what the buyer has to offer as a trade-in. The price is all-inclusive and stands. It is never lowered in an effort to close a deal. There's no bargaining, but plenty of bargains. The customer must pay the price asked by the dealer. If, however, the car stands idle too long, the dealer has a right to revoke his original price and reprice the car consistent with the demands of used car buyers. In addition to this policy of stating a definite price, now how many times have we heard this over the years? Saturn was a one-price deal. Everybody's been a one-price deal. It's never worked. Ford dealers have gone further in establishing the confidence of the used car buyer by definitely guaranteeing the car sold. With few exceptions, cars are given 30 days protection against mechanical defects, and in the event of a mechanical trouble, Ford dealers agree to supply the labor while the owner supplies the parts and making necessary replacements. Trade-ins of the cars accumulated as a result of selling effort at the used car mart become the property of the Philadelphia V8 Dealers, Inc. These are priced and placed on the floor for resale. Thus, the individual dealer has an opportunity to clean out his used car stocks without the necessity of taking back other used cars in trade. Eventually, when these are sold, profits, if any, will be distributed among the dealer's stockholders. So, kind of an interesting concept. But obviously, there again, if this was the end-all, be-all to used car sales, there would still be a lot of people doing it, a lot of groups doing it. I've never heard of anything like it ever since. But there again, it was a different shot, something else they were trying back in the day. And when we talk about, we're going to look at a few pictures here. Some of the combined advertising efforts, the actual building, as well as a glimpse of some of the cars on display. So when we look at the pictures that they do provide with the article, and remember, there's not a lot of pictures in this magazine. We're showing some of the advertising that they were doing. There's the 125 wide sign. That was a little tough to miss if you're downtown Philadelphia. As well as some of the vehicles. Now, a lot of cars in this time look very similar. However, this one here, to me, does look somewhat familiar. This almost, and I'm not sure, but almost looks like a 31 or 32 Auburn. Or 31 to 33, 1, 2, and 3. I've got that grill, and it kind of rolls down here. I think that might be a 31 to 33 Auburn. But definitely a different time. They fight just being in the same town, let alone together. That is totally true, Z-Bear. Completely. We'll catch one more article, and then we'll probably get ready to wind things up for tonight. And that's right, Randy. Back then, it probably did work well. Who knows how long it lasted. But that's the beauty of going back in time, taking ourselves back to 1934 with 2020 hindsight, knowing what has happened since then, which is what this next article is just completely crazy to me. And there again, we're going back to 1934. Like I said, we'll spend a few minutes with this one, then we'll get ready to start winding things up for the week. But the next article, now in today's world, there's a lot of stuff that we expect on vehicles: power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, a radio. But in 1934, this article is entitled $16 million in radio profits. 16 million. This is in 1934. 16 million in radio profits. Because most cars did not come with a radio. In fact, the very first line, as we start reading through some of this, the very first line of this article: will the motor car radio become a factory equipment job in 1935? Oh, got to kill some ads. Hold up. Will the motor car radio become a factory equipment job in 1935? Will the car dealer still be in the picture selling radios as an accessory? What chance will the independents have? There are 3 hot car radio questions now percolating throughout the industry, and all of them can be answered by a few deductions made by the reader himself from what is said in the following paragraphs. The car dealers are getting all the business, said a grumpy independent to me as I studied this cut rate sign calling the gullible public's attention to car radios at $9.75 installed. Applesauce, said I, and to draw him out, I indicated that if he sold good radios, installed them well, and serviced them properly, and used his head and feet a bit more than he did his soapbox armchair, he'd sell a lot of radios. Because, I continued, the author says, confidentially, old man, I found out by talking to 16 automobile salesmen just today that their primary object being to sell cars. Many of them hesitate to talk radio for fear of jeopardizing their automobile sales, even though today car radio is by far the biggest selling automobile accessory of the industry. So, yeah, right. Sounds like when disc brakes came out. That's another good point, Brian. So that's what's so wacky about this. The biggest selling automobile accessory was a radio. For the reason which has just been outlined, many new cars make at least their introduction to the streets and highways without radio, and thereby some good prospects for other radio selling outlets, provided these outlets are alert to the opportunity, which can readily be theirs through a little intelligent head and footwork. But the funny part about it is, after talking to all these salesmen, most of them did not want to talk about a radio. They were trying to get the car deal sold, and we're not even worrying about accessories. In the many years of automotive accessory selling that has been applied to the motoring public, this same setup, if they miss them, they'll get them, has existed, resulting in a divided, hesitating, and therefore inefficient marketing activity, with the car dealer getting only part of his share unless he is really alive to his opportunity, and the accessory dealer getting only a part of his if and when he is more or less alive to his opportunity. So just crazy that this is an entire article about marketing radios. This was such an important accessory because most cars didn't have them. We do actually get a few pictures of this one: a 35 Packard radio, a 34 DeSoto radio, and also some other fancy accessories that you guys probably think are more modern, but they're not. Manufacturers have groups just learning what accessories are popular on models. Exactly. They study the heck out of that. Kenny's grandpa said shatterproof glass was a big deal when he came out of it, or when it came out. But now we know in today's world, in today's fancy SUVs and things like that, there's separate entertainment systems for the back passenger, separate controls and everything like that. However, that stuff might not be quite as modern as you think. We're going to start off with some pictures here. The 1935 Packard radio, which mounted right in the center of the dash. Small dial with two small knobs. This one just says installation vintage 1929 on this particular one. But down here we've got the DeSoto, and also right down here we have the 1935 Packard again with rear controls. That's right, Z-Bird just bought a radio delete plate. How much was the aftermarket radio worth in the 70s and 80s? I don't know how much those were. But obviously, this was a big enough deal in 1934 to warrant an entire article on it. Obviously, a headline with $16 million in it was a pretty big deal. That's right, Ray. Definitely state of the art in 1934. But a pretty cool piece, and definitely an interesting article, and definitely a whole different time in the world than what we're used to today. So, with that, I think we'll go ahead and get ready to wind down tonight. Now that we got more bookmarks from Kevin, Kevin's been thinking. We're going to put this back in here and save our spot. And that's how much of this Automobile Trade Journal we've examined so far from 1934. This top part. That's how much of it we've seen. And look how much amazing stuff we've already seen. $37 for an aftermarket radio in the 70s, according to Z-Bird's Sears catalog. And that is so true. Big job. Radios and dashboards were so beautiful in the early cars. You know, that's why I've got one of those cord dash panels. You know, some Auburn dash panels that I got from Doug, some cool stuff like that in my collection. So, yeah, rear controls, they would have been huge. So, but anyway, we'll go ahead and wind that up for tonight and get ready to wrap stuff up and wind things down. Like I said, like we've been talking about, a lot of stuff going on. Mecum, Tulsa is literally a week and a half out. Can't wait to see a few of you guys there. Hopefully a few more of you might be able to make it. If you do want to try to make it, please email Pete so that we know who to expect. And we'll get a little bit of feedback from viewers for the Old Cars Weekly article. And we're going to spend some time with Jim Wicks. If you guys are going to be there, you would have the opportunity to meet our good friend Jim Wicks, the Ford expert. So that's going to be a lot of fun. What's coming up this week? We'll get some more of this new content up. Obviously, cars are pouring in here, so we'll get some new content up there. Toy Tuesday, I actually went through the other day, and I made a whole list of stuff we haven't done on Toy Tuesday, and it's like a full-page list of stuff we haven't done for Toy Tuesday, so we've got to start working on some of that stuff. Some of that stuff, some of those will have a few signs in them, so there's not a full list of that many to do, but there's a lot of stuff there, and this is all new stuff, guys. Remember, I'm not digging stuff out that I've been buying over the last 30 years. This is just stuff that's coming in. Z-Bear is ready to see the van. Yeah, I'll try to get that one shot and try to get it moved more towards the front of the line. I've got some more content in there, but I'll definitely try to get the van done because it's pretty amazing. It really is. And once again, huge shout out to Glenn for saving that. Had Glenn not been on top of things and saved that for me to share it with all of you, that thing would have already been flattened in the stack and flat. Fortunately, it's here, safe and sound at the yard, and it is magnificent. Can't wait to share that with you. So, with that, we're going to we'll be live on Tuesday night for some Toy Tuesday. We'll get some more new content up, and we'll get things going for this week. So, just trying to keep up with the comments over here real quick. Once again, I appreciate all of the super kind comments. A lot of nice, you guys are saying a lot of nice stuff about what we're doing on here. Check out Max Motor City Garage and King Rose Archives. Really cool car stuff on there as well. Thanks, number one. Appreciate that. And it's humbling to read all these comments that you guys are throwing up about here on here tonight about how great the show is and how much fun you guys are having. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a dummy who sits here and puts some notes together, and we hang out and have a good time. If you guys weren't here making this what it is, which is a chat with your feedback, your input, and your knowledge, it wouldn't be much of anything at all. It would be me sitting here in front of a webcam, which would not probably be very entertaining. So thanks to all of you guys for your participation. The Johnny Carson comments, that's amazing. Obviously don't think I'm anywhere near that level, but the fact that you guys think what we do here is on any sort of a level of being quality is amazing. So I super appreciate others. There's so many of them. I don't have time to go through them all, but thank you very much to all of you guys. That being said, we're getting ready to wind this thing down. We will be on live next weekend, 7 o'clock for some Sunday night live chat. We're going to give away that mobile pump plate. We're going to give away that flattened out can. We'll see how entry goes to see if we're going to give away any more than that this month. We will announce the new raffle next month, which is going to be, I think, epic. I've never done this before. It's an idea that I came up with the other day. And I think the new raffle for June is going to be a ton of fun. Produce and direct your efforts is what brings us back. Well, I do try to put together quality content, and I do think about what I'm doing and try to do a decent job for you guys. So yard tours from the van. We have to get it running for that. But anyway, that being said, thanks, guys. I really do truly appreciate the support. Invite your friends over. Let them know what we're doing. Hope to possibly meet a few more of you at Mecum, Tulsa in a few weeks. And thanks for your support. So with that, we'll see some of you Tuesday night for some Toy Tuesday. And we will get some more of that new content up. We'll try to get the van shot. I don't know if I'll have it ready this week or not, but we will try to get on getting that van shot and share that with you. And, I was thinking about throwing a battery in it and trying it, Glenn. We'll see. And definitely hope to see you all right back here next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time for some more Sunday night live chat. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening here with all of us nobodies and making this chat what it is. Have a great week, everybody, and we will see you next week. Some of you Tuesday night. If not, hope to see you next week. So.